Overcooked Radio. This episode is brought to you by Love by Me Apparel, home of all your apparel and accessory needs: shirts, mugs, bags, sunglasses, even the book series. You can shop online at www.takitamorgan.com. Self-love looks great on you.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is Chef Chris here. We're in the streets. Today we came to Sakura Ramen Bar. So I'm here with a good friend of mine, Chef Hugo. Introduce yourself, man. Tell us all about you.
What's going on, guys? My name's Chef Hugo. Some people call me Sancho. We're not going to go into that. Just going to leave it at that.
We got a previous one for that.
yeah, check that one out. That was a good one. So we had Chris for lunch, which was great. Great friend since the beginning of my career, actually. We've opened up Sakura Ramen April 15th over here at the Chattahoochee Food Works. It's one of the new developments that's came up I think it's been like a year in the works, and then we opened up April 15th. It's part of one of Andrew Zimmern's developments. So if you guys know who Andrew Zimmern is, he's a really, really good dude, and he loves food, obviously. And we came here in this development, 31 vendors of multiple different cuisines, very hard, passionate, driven chefs. So it's great. It's been a great ride since all last year.
Yeah. So tell us about the last time we talked. I know you have Viva La Masa, but now we're here at Sakura. You're doing something totally different. How did you get there?
So Viva La Masa was great, first and foremost, thank you so much for all the people that supported it, which is great. And I told you, previously, this was the route that I was going to go with. And I did, and it was great. And Anna, the owner, she came up to me with this project, and, I was like, all right, I'll help you. And then once I kind of fully came on board, it just transpired into this. And my whole career, I've really been in love with Japanese cuisine just because of the discipline, the simplicity. You can't hide behind simplicity. You can put any all sorts of garnishes in food, but if you can't have the basics right, then you can't have good food.
Right.
There's only but so much you can put on there to make it Instagrammable, I guess, which is a big thing right now.
Right,
but
right. You gotta get those food pics.
Oh, you gotta get them. You gotta flex on people. Yeah. So hopped on this, and at first, Anna was just like, hey, it might not be your thing because it's ramen is simple, and it's not. Ramen is not simple. There's so many things that go into it, and at the end of the day, yes, it is soup, but it's a very well thought out soup, and very, very, precise in a way, and that's how this came about. And again, that love for Japanese food and the simplicity of it and the respect towards the ingredients and such was one way that kind of led me back to Asia per se.
Right.
And the Viva La Masa it's not gone away. It's on hold right now. But other than that, man, that's how we ended up here. And it's been a long 4 months, but a great ride.
I've been watching your journey, man, on social media. I remember, from the time you guys first got into this place to setting up the kitchen, going to buy equipment and stuff like that. So I know it's been a long journey, but a pleasing journey as well. And as a friend watching on the outside, from the outside, I'm like, man, I'm surprised this guy, literally warms my heart. So now I got a question now. Viewers, this is for you. These aren't the orange pack of noodles. What do we got going on?
No, man. Listen, man. As much as I like the orange pack of noodles, I will never forget where I come from, and I'll never, forget my roots, man. These are nice, good quality noodles that we get from Hawaii, okay. And they're used at every most Japanese ramen places, and even just the noodle was kind of hard for us to get down, just because I'm not a big fan of thick noodles or udon noodles or you know, even like wavy noodles are like my very simple, because I'm not a big pasta guy.
Right.
And that was one of my biggest things with ramen. So developing this menu was just like, all right, you know what? How can somebody like me who likes ramen, doesn't necessarily like the noodle, how can we go about this? How can we make it enjoyable to someone who is a novice towards Japanese cuisine in general, towards ramen, towards the way that it's made, the way it's eaten, and we finally decided on a thin noodle, which really helped us out in the long run because that noodle cooks in 90 seconds.
Right.
So when the food comes in, the way we have it set out, all the food's out in 3 to 5 minutes flat, and the noodle's always consistent, and it doesn't fill you up as much as like a thick noodle would. And that's one of the things that we wanted to. We wanted you to feel fulfilled but not full.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm very like pleased right now. Like I feel like I'm satisfied. Like I'm not hungry anymore. But I'm not like, oh, gut busted, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
so I still have energy. I'm still good to go. So yeah, no, it's a very feeling, what should I say, pleasing bowl of goodness.
Yeah, I mean, like the noodles,
Check it out.
they when you fold the noodle and stuff, they just give a better presentation.
Sure.
And, and Anna and I both came in agreement that of like, okay, this is the route we want to go.
Right.
Because I mean, as mentioned before, people want to take pictures of food and stuff, which is great. That's free publicity. Just getting out on air and everything, which is great. To have those good pictures, but more so to just have a good quality and a good quality meal. Really was the biggest endeavor for us.
Sure. So real quick, while we're talking about publicity, shout out, man. Go ahead, drop your social media. How can people find out about Sakura?
So if you follow us on Instagram or on Facebook or both, we're Sakura Ramen Bar ATL on Instagram and Sakura Ramen Bar on Facebook. So you can follow us there. We're always posting up, all the good food that's either coming, and I'm a big teaser when it comes to just teasing the food that's about to come out. So keep up with that. That way you guys know what's coming. I'm really trying to keep everything very, very playful and fresh, and just not develop a monotonous restaurant. Want something to be playful and fun to eat, fun to look at and stuff. So follow us on there, and for some also kind of like behind the scene things, man.
Exclusive.
Behind the scene exclusive, man. If you guys want to follow Bok Choy Boys spelled with BOIZ, Bok Choy like the fruit. That's the staff and I. We have a lot of fun here, and we like to share those times. So if you want to look at some of the behind the scene craziness that goes into like what actually it's like working in a restaurant, especially like working in a restaurant with people who are very driven, super talented, and just all around great joy to be around with, which is kind of what you want as a chef, to have like just a kitchen where you can kind of just get away and create. Follow them too on Bok Choy Boys on Instagram, Sakura Ramen Bar ATL again on Instagram as well for the restaurant professional page of it, I guess I could say, and Sakura Ramen Bar on Facebook.
Cool, man. I appreciate that. So let's see. You said you opened April 15th.
Yep, April 15th.
So tell me what like opening week was like for you.
Yeah, opening week was insane, to say the least.
Yeah.
It was a quote unquote soft opening.
Okay.
The marketing crew that we have here for the market is really, really good. You can always find us at like Chattahoochee Food Works on Instagram. They always make sure that publicity and stories, Instagram, that's all taken care of over there. Well, one of the unfortunate things was it kind of got marketed as a grand opening, which was not their intent, and there's no qualms or queries towards it. But that weekend, man, that weekend was like it was just over like 3,000 to 4,000 people just here.
Wow.
That whole weekend, like from open to close. I mean, we ran out of ramen. Friday, Saturday, we ran out of ramen at 7:30.
Wow.
And then Sunday, we had enough for 5 bowls of ramen.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I mean, I have a big, 160 quart pot, which we make all of our broths in, and ran through 3 of those that weekend, just constant back to back to back. But at the end of the day, man, we were pretty much blessed to have that experience because it really taught us what we were going to become and what our identity was and how we were going to go about keeping that identity and where we really needed to be. Just because I think a lot of times chefs have that problem of not really being able to almost streamline what they are, who they are, and it can become a problem that can either make or break your business.
Right.
So the silver lining of it was we were able to catch that on quick. And again, my team is phenomenal. The opening team was phenomenal, which, they're still here, which is a great thing to be able to say, given the workforce that's going on right now, or just everything that's going on, not just the workforce. But, they're still here and they're still pushing, they're still striving, they're still, asking me questions. They're, pulling me like, hey, chef, I want to get into this. I want to get into that. How can I do this? How can I do that? In terms of growth. So, they want to grow, which is great. And that really set the tone for the restaurant of, hey, we're going to be busy, we're going to make good food, and these people are hungry.
Right.
And to run a successful restaurant, I guess that's the 3 things that you practically really need.
Absolutely. I mean, so you mentioned something though with what's going on. Like, we all know like what's going on with the COVID situation. So, and understanding that, how has that affected business in terms of your costing, in terms of receiving product, in terms of business in general?
Oh man, it's affected a lot.
Yeah.
It's and even things that I didn't even know about. I think one of the biggest issues that it's caused, this is just all across the board. It's just the sense of like deliveries. Deliveries are hard. There's not a lot of people who are delivering food or just product that we need. Availability is also a big thing, just because a lot of things took a hit, and it wasn't even just with food. I know, like with us, we did a whole year before we opened up. We did a whole year before we opened up, and we ordered our ramen machine from Japan.
Okay. So
getting it from Japan to here was a process in itself, and that's just like the heart of the restaurant.
Right.
So that was hard, and everything else in terms of also space that we have here was really hard. Saying, okay, we can't do orders, let's say like 2 or 3 days a week, like some people can in some restaurants because they have the available space. We're 244 square feet, so our small little fish tank, man, can only pump out but so much.
So that's interesting too. Like, talk about that a little bit. Like, so this is a very unique space, guys. So like, it's a huge space, but everywhere has this, little almost like suites. And so it's very unique in the terms of you have a lot of variety in such a small space here. But how is that working in such a tight space? I love the concept, open kitchen. I love the variety, but in working terms, how is that?
It's definitely a challenge, to say the least. But that opening weekend, we learned exactly what we needed to do, what we didn't need to do, and what essentially we could do. So even though we're only 244 square feet, we have a separate dry storage. We have, one 2-door cooler and then also a 1-door freezer. So being able to pump out that, and our broth cooler, obviously we have, like, that cooler is just filled with broth. That's all we use it for. Nothing else goes in there but broth all day, every day. Being able to kind of work around that and develop a system was one of the harder things to do, just because these broths aren't something that you can pump in, 2 hours or whatnot. These take 8 hours, 6 hours broth, 12-hour broths, So we had to essentially get a rotation where we're constantly doing something, we're constantly prepping something. Things are coming in and out of the coolers every day. So we had to develop that system, which in return was great because that sense of freshness is always there. So things will last us maybe 2 days, not because we wanted to last for 2 days, but because that's just the volume that we go through.
Right.
So everything's constantly fresh. Everything is great.
But you even appreciate it more in terms of food. It's fresh.
No, absolutely.
You don't want to go anywhere. I think about sometimes you go to some of these fast food joints, and you get your fries, and your fries have been sitting there for a couple of hours. Just how they look, and I don't know how they taste, but so that sense of freshness and the appreciation you get, because ATL is definitely a big food town now.
Definitely.
But the appreciation that you get from the freshness is something to be spoken for.
No, for sure.
And being now a consumer, I can definitely appreciate it, man.
No, for sure. For sure. I mean, like it's those little details that we could sit there and be like, oh my God, we just can't. But being able to have the team that is able to kind of look at where we're at and say, all right, chef, this is where we're at, and this is what we can do. Or, hey, team, this is what we need to do, and this is what I'm looking for. And working all together to make that happen, it's really a great thing, man. I couldn't ask for a better staff. That sense of teamwork, working together, just trying to make things work. It's great. Some of the guys that are on the line, they've never done ramen before.
Right.
And most people would be like, well, we want somebody with experience. I'm kind of like the opposite. I want that somebody that doesn't have that experience.
Clean slate.
That clean slate, not just to teach them, but because they bring a fresh set of eyes of just non-traditional things. So it's kind of like, hey, this worked for me this way. So can we implement that here? Because it turns out that makes the same product, and that develops that same consistency just in a non-traditional way that could be faster without losing quality, that could be more efficient. So you learn these things, and even like I said, 244 square feet, you're running like a tank.
Right.
And it's just a well-oiled machine, and that's how we pretty much came about to be who we are.
Oh man, that's amazing. And I love the story. I love this atmosphere. I love seeing you guys grow for sure. You and Anna, I've seen your growth and how far you guys have come. Man, it was my pleasure today. I really do appreciate that. You got anything else for the good people you want to say?
I mean,
let them know. And make sure you shout out your social media, your tags.
Yeah. So social media. Sakura Ramen Bar ATL on Instagram, Bok Choy Boys with an IZ on Instagram, and Sakura Ramen Bar on Facebook. And just come check us out. Even if you, we would love to serve you guys, but if you don't, just come check the place out. It's a huge development. There's, like I said, 31 vendors all doing different kinds of things. So even if we're not what you want, you'll find something that you do want. And that's the great thing about here. The chefs are great. They support all the stalls support each other, which is a great sense of community to have. And as one of the new food halls in Atlanta, it's definitely worth a trip.
Sure. What's the address here again?
All right, so it's 1235 Chattahoochee Avenue Northwest. We're right in front of Top Golf, just a little further. So if you know where Top Golf is, over on Ellsworth, you can probably go to Top Golf, and if you're good enough, you'll probably hit us with a golf ball. So we're literally right there.
Cool. So you got anything else coming up, man? Anything you want to tell the good people?
Yeah, actually, this September we will be going to Atlanta Food and Wine Festival. Sakura Ramen was invited to do the Atlanta Food and Wine Festival, which was great. 4 months in, they're already reaching out to us and they want to do it. We're going to be in the VIP tasting. I can't tell you what we're doing yet, but just know that it's going to be something that's a little playful. More playful than just normal ramen. So definitely come out. We're going to be there on September 12th, which is a Sunday from 2 to 5. And that September 11th and 12th is going to be the whole Atlanta Food and Wine Festival, but we will only be there on the 12th. So come check us out. Come see what we got, whether it be at the Food and Wine Festival or here at the food hall. And, we look forward to serving you guys.
Man, I appreciate your time, man. That's it for today, guys. Hey, remember, Chef Chris is in the streets, and we're going to have a good time and get full. Now it's time for me to go back and get some more sake. See you guys later. Peace.
Go.